Good morning. Hey. We're looking at dark 30, 5 o'clock in the morning, autumn day, November, and barely in the 50s. So definitely getting into autumn. And I'm going to journal this as, something like an encouragement, like a empowerment. 2025 has been kind of a weird one. And this may get long. I don't think I'll be able to do a short on this. And I'm not talking about just on social political scene. I'm talking about just, all in all, it's been kind of weird. And so, a lot of people passing. Oh, a bunch of little baby raccoons out there. A lot of people passing. The dividing lines, what's making us is seeming to be a little bit more, let's say, solidified, but there are places that are melting. It's just strange, my generation getting older and people are dying and whatever. I started off the year doing that and came back. And one of the things I've learned through that is a no fear factor. I'm going to be blessed wherever I'm blessed at. I'm not going to be chasing the almighty dollar. I just can't. And the idea of retirement, well, I've always had that in my mind. 100 years ago, people weren't even thinking about retirement. It's a concept that's came up in modern history. And so, you just get old and you may not be able to do it, and your family took care of you, but you didn't fucking plan for a retirement or anything. Money chasing never really was. You'd hope that you could be rich or whatever, but being rich also, you better have your wits about you, because as I just did a piece and I put down that the wealthy pity the poor, but the poor pity the wealthy as well. For being tangible, the wealthy pity the poor because they seek what is tangible, and the poor normally pity the wealthy because they know that happiness comes from within. And so I guess that's one of the main themes here. But my other theme is that, my love and hate is a choice. I can keep myself at bay from certain people because of toxicity or something like that, but I don't hate them. I just can't hate them. I would go over on the side of the road and help them if they needed it, but I don't hate them. And the viciousness at which we talk to each other socially online is very vicious. And we need to mind our words in that instance, because it breaks down relationships that you've had for years and decades. Okay? I don't fear these are lessons learned from I don't even know why, but from my ordeal at the beginning of the year. I don't fear, for the most part. You know, and you got to love. You've got to love people. And there's not a damn thing that you can do to me. And I don't mean that arrogantly. I mean that most lovingly. You know, there's nothing that you can do to me. If a person were to have some kind of trigger to go off on me or something like that, I would be okay. But you do realize it's on you, right? You know, rather than trying to sit down and talk, understand, come to a meeting of the minds, you would rather choose this outlet. And so that's on you. That's not on me. There's nothing, and when I say, once again, no fear, there's nothing anybody can do to me anymore. And I don't know if that's just an age factor, or that came with a heart thing, or what it was. But, you know, I don't welcome it. I'm just saying that it's when I look at people, it's silly to have that kind of mindset. It's stupid to have that kind of mindset. We live in a society in America that thinks we're the only damn country out there. Many people in the U.S. that have never traveled abroad have an extreme view of the rest of the world. They might be smart enough to know that we're sitting on a globe, that we're sitting on a planet, but their ignorance towards other cultures, other countries, other people is so big. They've got such a narrow mind about things. And like one of the things that when I hear people of that ilk speaking like the immigration policy, I'll go, you do realize that we're outnumbered, right? In America? And I've brought this up before, that we're outnumbered. There's two countries, not continents, countries out there that outnumber us 4-1. And you have the balls enough to sit there and be arrogant saying, we're American, you're human. That's all you are. That is all you are. Go look at the stars. And I don't mean to think that that's not special. But started off on a base. Started off being humble about it. Okay? Well, you're human. You're no better than the goat herder on the plains of what used to be Mongolia. You're no better than some guy going and working in a market in Nairobi. You are no better than your neighbor. Even if your neighbor is a crackhead. Okay? You're no better than that. And the day that you start understanding that all men are created equal, that will be the day that you start seeing it through the eyes of your Creator. If you truly are American, if you truly are of a Christian ideology, that will be the day that you see everything through Jesus' eyes. Okay? All men are created equal. All women and men are created equal. What divides us a lot of times is our choice. What divides us isn't necessarily whether you live in a mansion or have dirt floors. Okay? It's a choice of somebody that is the have not willing to help out the have-nots. It is a choice of the haves or the have-nots that aren't willing to push themselves. But you got to keep in mind that there also is some that can't. And so what are you going to do with them? As soon as you have a ailment that debilitates you, do we toss them off in society, out of society and against the rocks? No. You got to take care of them. Well, who takes care of them? No, normally people that are around that same area, but also it takes somebody from the top to help out. We're all on the same planet. We're all human. And we better get our shit together and think about that. Because the overpopulation word is starting to pop up more and more. You can drive somewhere and there's a lot of land. There's a lot of room. But we haven't figured out the wherewithal and to understand how we can manage populations. Okay? And a lot of times it comes down because there's people sitting on the top tier being so greedy. Okay? It isn't that there's people unwilling at the bottom level. We're all human. We're all human. Learn to love. Learn to love. Because in the end, that's what's going to hold us together, not hate. That's all I got for you. And I got nothing but love for you. Have a good one.